Hi, and welcome to my newsletter. I am Danny Neifert with Skin Harmonics and the creator of the Regenerative Skin Process. I'm a licensed esthetician, corneotherapist, and skin texture expert. And what I've done for this newsletter, and I know that it's been a while since I've done one, is I want to explain skin health by drawing the analogy that our skin is a garden. And I made this diagram that I want to share with you each right now. And this is a summary of conventional skincare and the effects of what it has on our skin. And I have likened a tornado to all of the aggressive scrubbing that's going on. Hail to me is it's like microdermabrasion, and pesticides and astringents. Those are all things that they're basically chemical peels, but they behave like pesticides on our skin. And I've even gone so far as to say that lasers are like a really harsh lightning storm on our skin. And what happens when we're tending the soil of our garden in this way is that the soil becomes depleted, and the top layer of our dermal mattress, our soil mattress, becomes very embedded with subsurface blockages, and the soil gets very compacted and is storing all of these rocks in the garden bed. And even if you're trying to aerate it with what some people might believe to be microneedling, it's of no effect, because essentially the soil bed is just being depleted, and there's just all sorts of imbalance, and it's a distraught situation when, if we were to apply conventional anti-aging or conventional acne, beliefs and procedures to our skin, like, it is killing the garden of our skin, and it does not glow. It, like I said, fills up with all of these blockages, and it's just not a garden that I want to eat out of personally. And but I want to contrast that with what our skin will look like under the regenerative skin process method. You can see that the soil is thick and loamy, and it's being fed fertilizer. So there's nutrients going into the soil. You can see that there are no accumulations, no blockages happening. There's also rain coming in. The previous garden had no rain, whereas with Skin Harmonics, every time you're misting with that Devote mist and using the serum, that's full hydration. The serum is the fertilizer. And the shade canopy is, yes, a sunscreen, but it's also the moisturizer. It's Unity, Nomad, and Lamina that you're applying that layer to keep the hydration right next to where it belongs in our skin, and that it's being shaded from excessive sun exposure. And I'm equating plastic surgery to landscaping, because plastic surgery can kind of move things around in a way that creates a more sculpted look or removes excess skin, and that has a place. But within all of that, we want our garden to thrive and grow and glow. And you can see that I have a fitness expert in this garden, where we're working out the muscles of our skin. We take our skin to the gym. Our skin has a personal trainer within the Skin Harmonics method, where we're exercising and lifting and toning those facial muscles. And that there's three gardeners in this diagram, whereas the other one only had one big fat ugly dude man, kind of pig-like man, which in some ways, I have to say, sometimes I feel like the skin industry standard is being run by that type of mentality. But what we have in this image is we have somebody that's dedicated to pulling the weeds out of our skin and the rocks, and that would be extractions. And I just love talking about skin in this way, where sometimes that can really make things land for people when, as we're trying to bring in these new ideas that are, highly effective as to what is a better way to treat our skin. And now I want to talk about something that's on the forefront of my mind, and is I have a public service announcement that your skin is not dirty. This is something that, I don't know who needs to hear this today. A lot, if you're on my newsletter, you know me and you know my stance on this, but it's one of the biggest things that new clients come to me with is, how do I get my skin clean? There's this obsession of how to clean skin. And this is the tragic, sad truth, is in this obsession to clean our skin, we have sabotaged our skin's self-cleansing mechanism that is inborn, innate, and it's what our skin does when it's in a healthy, natural, balanced state. And skin, if it is dirty, all you have to do is rinse it with warm water, and all of that, everything that needs to go will come off. And I'm just trying to think of a way to explain this. Anything that is superficial, like dirt, oil, sweat, anything that is meant to go, like some oil our skin is supposed to hold on to, we don't want to scrub all that away, comes off in a shower. Natural makeup comes off in a shower. Our sweat comes off in the shower. Your skin is not crawling with bacteria. When our skin has its microbiome in place and is in a state of barrier restoration, it naturally has the exact perfect microbiome film that's needed, and it's not dirty at all. You rinse it and everything's fine. Nothing needs to be disinfected. All the oil on your skin does not need to be removed, and in fact, going for that squeaky clean effect is exactly what's creating bad microbiome, creating bacteria overgrowth, and it's also what's sabotaging how your own natural oils should move up through an open pore canal and through an open pore opening. And when our own natural oil is expedited to the surface like this, bacteria doesn't have a chance to form, and all of the congestion, the blockages, the milia, the blackheads, all of that just never even has a chance. We've basically gotten ahead of it. So I want to just review the ways to cleanse our skin with the Skin Harmonic method. And the first is what I call warm water cleansing. And this is basically exactly that. It's using warm water. Oops, I'm trying to move my thing around. Just leave it there. It's using warm water in the morning and at night to cleanse your skin. And it's not that pores open or close. I've heard this a lot. Pores just soften to receive, products, but pores are not like doors where they're opening and then closing. They're soft, and if our skin is warmed up and moist, those pores soften and can receive the products. And so the warm water cleansing is, sometimes has nothing to do with rinsing off dirt on our skin if we're not out gardening or sweating. It's just about preparing our skin to properly and receive all of the beautiful products to maximize that absorption. So in the morning when you get up, even if you don't have any makeup on and your skin's not dirty, you still want to prepare your skin so that it can receive the origin set. And then next, in the evenings, you can use Clear, which is my cleanser that I've made. And that's only in the evenings, and it's only when you have, a lot of makeup on or a lot of layered SPF. Some makeup comes off without a cleanser, and some is more stubborn, and you should be using a cleanser. And that's when you want to use a very gentle facial cleanser, and that's why I formulated Clear. and you only ever want to use it at night. There's just absolutely no reason, unless you slept with your makeup on, that you should be using a cleanser in the morning. Like, just don't. And at night, it's optional. And another way to cleanse your skin or your eye makeup is just to use plain coconut oil. And this is just kind of that thick, waxy, cold press that you cook with, food grade. A little bit of that on a cotton ball or some tissue paper will take eye makeup right off. And it's pennies, and it's so gentle for your skin. And there's no packaging or fuss that's involved when you can buy a $20 eye makeup remover, or just use coconut oil. And back to this warm water cleansing, I just can't stress how important this is to just understand that this warm water most of the time is going to do everything that your skin needs. And just don't underestimate warm water cleansing. You can take an optional gentle washcloth, very, very gentle, if you want to supplement this warm water cleansing. And this is my cleanser that I made. It's called Clear. It does foam, and I call it my boring, plain on purpose cleanser. So it doesn't have oil in it, like doesn't have lavender in it. It's not scented with anything, and this is on purpose. It's not exciting. It's not going to be cotton candy, smell in Disneyland, which unfortunately consumers have been trained to love the smell of things that are synthetic and is irritating and your skin has no use for. So, and I sell Clear in the bulk size. It's 8 ounces. It's pretty large, very large, that you can use to refill this smaller 2-ounce squeeze with. And, oh yeah, this is right. I have also Anoint, which is my dual purpose facial oil cleanser and moisturizer. So this product, it doubles. You can use it to cleanse your skin with, and you can also use it to moisturize with. So this is a really great one to take on the road if you're a big minimalist, because it just serves both of those functions so well, and it has rose essential oil in it and a lot of some really great base oils in it. And this comes in 3 sizes as well. And next, I want to just give a visual for what I'm trying to describe, what happens underneath our skin. It's something that I have spent many, many years working with. And I always feel like when I'm trying to describe skin, it feels like I'm an astronaut landing on an alien planet trying to describe it to people who have never been there and never will go there. And it's a very strange terrain. And my fingertips years ago just started to learn how to braille, and my eyes how to see and feel what's happening underneath the skin and how that shows up. It's like being able to perceive the rocks under the water in a creek bed where there's ripples, and the way that the water moves, you can sense and feel and know and sometimes see the rocks, the blockages underneath the skin. And in this diagram, and I've put this on my website, I have put this diagram in every newsletter because it is just so valuable for you each to see what literally happens to the pore canal. So when skin is dehydrated and not on the Skin Harmonics method, the pore canal gets all crinkled and crunched, and it's non-functioning. There's just no way that it can be the passageway for our own natural oil. And in my diagram, our own oil is here in gold. And our sebaceous gland used to be referred to as a living fossil for our skin. People couldn't figure out why on the heck were people still walking around with sebaceous glands because there just was no darn good reason, and they were so problematic, and why couldn't they just disappear? And in fact, some early acne treatments did exactly that. They were essentially trying to remove sebaceous glands, and that was unsuccessful. So what they next started doing was shutting down sebaceous gland completely on purpose, deactivating them. And now what scientists are discovering is the sebaceous gland has been renamed or re-talked about, if you will, as the brain of our skin. So it's kind of like the appendix. Everybody thought it was no good, and then now realizing that it serves a really vital function for health. So our sebaceous gland is the brain of our skin, and I believe that to be true. And when our sebaceous gland is functioning optimally, our own natural oils, like I mentioned earlier, are able to move out freely and spread across our skin. And that is what prevents bacteria. It prevents needing to use any kind of, probiotic on the skin. It creates a perfectly natural barrier on our skin, the way that nature has intended for our skin to be. Blockages don't have a chance to form. And not only that, this diagram also shows the thickening of our dermal layer, which does happen when you're taking the Fortify Feast and Super Feast serums. It builds the soil bed back up of your skin, where our dermal layer, which is in the bottom of this diagram, is what produces all of the skin layers above it. And when that is fed, it can continue that increased cell turnover in a sustainable way. And we can thicken that dermal mattress that has all of the capillaries in it. And this is where glow comes from. It does not come from a trauma scream from too much fluid in our skin. It comes in an unstoppable way when our dermal layer is literally fed and it gets meaningful nutrients in it. And this is where that abundant glow comes from. And let's see, what is next? Oh, good. That's right. I'm putting these gardens one on top of the other just to ask you the no-brainer question, like what kind of garden do you want? And the answer is obvious. Oh, and I also want to plug Super Feast. So Super Feast is not on my website. It is a very, very strong serum. It's not as strong as the Christmas dinner dose that I do in the treatments, in the deep pore cleansing treatments, but it's very strong, and ideally it can be used every night. I have some people that can't use it every night, maybe every other night. And I have some clients, and especially menopausal skin or acne skin, these are the two types of skin that benefit the most from food, from topical food. And this is what really just builds that glow and helps the skin. If you're an acne person, it helps all of the subsurface blockages to, be pushed out through your skin. And it also helps old scarring, and it also helps skin recover from extractions and any kind of wound. Super Feast is where it's at. And you do have to call me for this or text me, because I want to make sure that you're a candidate for this. It's not sold on my website. And I think that's what I wanted to cover today. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. It's a little off-centered, that photo. So come see me in Louisville, Colorado, which is, it's just next to Boulder, maybe 10 minutes from Boulder. It's inside Wolf Functional Medicine. I have the front room, all windows, and I'm also just 45 minutes from the Denver airport. And this is my room on the inside. This is where all the magic happens. There's a really great view when you lay on the bed. It looks out towards the street. And let's see what else. I think I'm kind of wrapping it up, honestly. I wanted to basically just talk about gardening And I wanted with our skin, and then also just touch on cleansing again, because this is something that I think each of you know. But if you don't, I'm just reminding you, do not have FOMO about not cleansing your skin more. And of course, do not have FOMO about participating in conventional skincare. So thanks for listening, and I will see you each next time.